Good morning. Welcome back to our play reading of Sri Girish Karnad's Yayati. When we left off yesterday, you had met Swarnalata, Devayani, Sharmishta, Yayati, and Puru. Swarnalata tried to persuade Devayani against Sharmishta, but Devayani continues to be compassionate to her friend. Devayani is the daughter of Shukracharya and wife of Yayati. Sharmishta seduces Yayati in efforts to take revenge on Devayani. But does she even really love him? Let us not forget about the vial of poison as well. Sharmishta came near to killing herself, but was saved by Yayati. Was that a theatrical gesture? Or was it real? Prince Puru, Yayati's son, has returned to the kingdom after a long time with his bride Chitralekha. With not much recollection of his mother, and no drive, Puru lacks the ambition to do more in life and wants to practice spirituality to attain true happiness. With Sarmishta still pulling many strings, she persuades Devayani to calm down and to avoid any adverse impacts from her temperament and complains to Shukracharya. The result is a curse. What is this curse facing Yayati? Why might have Sharmishta left the vial of poison in the chambers? What is in store for our characters? Today, all your questions will be answered. Let us now find out. I will take you all to the same chamber we were in yesterday, where we find Puru and Yayati busy in their conversation, and running in terrified comes Sharmishta.
Oh, please, Prince Puru. Only you can save His Majesty now. Please hurry up and go. You mustn't waste time.
Who are you?
What is this, Sharmishta? What has happened to you?
There is no time to explain, sir. Please go before they leave the town.
They? Who is they? Have you gone mad?
Revered Shukracharya and Devyani, sir. They are about to...
But why are they leaving? What has happened, father?
Shukracharya is so incensed that he has cursed His Majesty. Only you can save the situation now.
Curse? What did you say? Curse? What curse? Why? Come on, speak up.
Go, Prince, go. Hurry up and just go.
Sharmishta, please speak up. What happened?
He has placed a curse on His Majesty that he will lose his youth and become decrepit by nightfall. I fell to his feet. I begged him to remember that His Majesty had saved Devyani's life. But he wouldn't listen.
Curse? Why? What have I done? Why should he curse me?
Oh, please, Puru, go. Hurry.
Me?
Yes, only you can save the situation now. Go, please.
Sharmishta, is this true or is this another one of your tricks? Why?
No, it is Devyani, sir. He is angry that you have humiliated her.
But I have not. She is my queen. Where have I humiliated her?
I tried to warn you.
This is outrageous. I shall go and catch that wizened old fool by his beard and demand an explanation.
No, please don't do that. That will only make things worse.
Old age, decrepitude by nightfall. And then what, Sharmishta? You she-devil, you are the cause for all this. You are responsible. You trapped me in your wiles.
Please, sir, don't lose heart. I am sure Prince will succeed in appeasing Shukracharya. He will get the curse annulled. He's his grandson after all.
And I wait here helplessly till he gets that done. Oh, a desiccated fool on one side who cannot see beyond his silly offspring. And on the other side, a youth still wet behind his years who despises his father. No, no, I had better go.
No, 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 please, sir, please, please. Listen to me now, at least now. Have patience.
Patience? Patience? Sir, Mister, patience of a man falling into a bottomless pit? Patience? Oh, the deafening rush of emptiness. What can be more terrible than that? And if suppose Puru fails, suppose that shriveled mendicant refuses to listen to a reason,
So what?
what do you mean, so what?
No one can escape old age. You must have just hastened its arrival. Let's accept it. Let us go away from the city. I will come with you. I will share the wilderness with you.
No, no, Sharmishta, you cannot possibly imagine the horror of it. No, you will always be an outsider to my anguish, to my grief, to my nightmare. You can only watch. With such care, with such pride, I had gathered the rarest moments of my life in my palm like precious stones, so that I could play with them, relieve them, juggle them. And suddenly they explode, each moment hurtling through my muscle and bones like a meteorite.
Everything has been a game for you so far, an object of diversion to be used and discarded. But, sir, there are things more important. Let's go and seek them in solitude.
Solitude? What are you talking about? I don't want solitude. I can't bear it. I want people around me. People, queens, ministers, armies, enemies, the populace. I want them all. I love them all. Solitude? Oh, the very thought of it is repulsive. If I have to know myself, Sharmishta, I have to be young. I must have my youth.
He sits down on the bed and starts feeling the mattress like a blind man searching for a lost object.
Sir, what are you doing? Sir,
I am trying to recapture my youth. Moments when I handed out pain. Moments when I slaughtered enemies, razed hostile cities to the ground, made my queens writhe in pain and demanded that they laugh and make love to me in gratitude. Why do I think of those moments now, Sharmishta? Why moments of tears and torture and blood seem priceless?
so it was my tears that attracted you.
Have I upset you? You won't hold me against it, will you? I blurted it out because I hunger for them again. But you won't let me go, will you? You won't abandon me.
I have given myself to you. There is no going back.
Sharmishta, where is Puru? Why isn't he back yet? He must be celebrating his youth, his chance to rule the world. You know, he has the Rakshasa blood in his veins. Do you know? How could we have even trusted him? How? The sight of me fills him with repugnance.
Can you please calm yourself? I will go and look for him, okay?
No, please don't. Please don't leave me alone. Please.
Okay, all right. Okay. Who is there? Swarna?
Yes, madam.
Where is Prince? Have you seen him?
He's in the outer courtyard, sir. He seems to be on his way here.
What is he waiting for? Does he expect to be welcomed with corn shells and drums? Sir, mister, I told you, he must be exulting at the turn of events, indulging in fantasies of the future.
Pardon me, your majesty. The prince seemed very agitated. He was in consultation with the chief minister.
Here I am on the bed of burning coals, and he hangs around confabulating. Ask him to come. Immediately. Tell him I order him to come at once. Tell him.
Yes, Your Highness.
But, Sharmishta, so soon? How is he back so soon? And why is he talking to the ministers? Didn't he get to see Shukracharya? Or has he come back empty-handed? What then? Sharmishta, what do I do? What do I do?
I understand. But please, calm yourself, calm.
Act 3. Only a short time later, Sharmishta and Yayati are waiting for Puru to return. After a while, Puru enters.
What happened, Puru? Why are you late?
By the time I reached the Shambhu shrine, the revered Shukracharya had left with his daughter. A disciple was waiting for me. He gave me the message.
Message? What message? Has the curse been lifted?
In recognition of the fact that you saved Devyani from starving to death in the well, Shukracharya has relented and said that the curse of instant decrepitude will not have its effect on you if you...
It will not! Has he withdrawn the curse then?
The curse will not have its effect on you if a young man agrees to take it upon himself and offers his youth to you in exchange.
That is good news. That is good news indeed. So I don't lose my youth again. Thank God. Thank God. What a relief. So you see, Sharmishta, you were asking me to accept the curse as though that was the end of everything. You, Sharmishta, you wanted me to turn my back on life. But see, even the dotard like Shukracharya can see a reason. See? Why do you both look so gloomy? Aren't you happy? Aren't you happy that I have escaped the fate worse than death? Don't you feel any happiness? Any joy at my escape from the blight? Why are you silent? Am I doing something wrong?
The question, Father, is who is willing to accept the curse from you?
Oh, that! Surely, that is not a serious question. Surely there is no shortage of men who will come out to take over their king's burden. There are many people, they love me. Surely they will not hesitate to step forward.
Why should they? Why should they take upon themselves the scourge you brought upon yourself? Please, sir, let us not look around for a fool or a yogi who is seeking holy martyrdom. Let's go.
Go? You are out of your mind. You want me to spurn the hand Shukracharya extended and crawl into a funeral pyre? You want me to be dependent on you, don't you? You trapped me once into your wilds, and you want me to stay trapped, clinging onto you for survival. You woman, you will never give up on your demonic machinations. Get out of my sight. Out!
Father!
You be quiet. This conniving barbarian.
Could you please leave us, madam?
No, let me be here.
Please, do me a favor, please.
Okay. What do you want to say?
It is not a question of what I want to say. It is a question of fact, Father.
What fact?
No one is willing to accept the curse. Your curse.
No one? What do you mean by no one? My dear subjects, for whose sake I faced 1,000 deaths.
They say they have seen you enjoy the glory you thereby earned. Actually, some even pointed out that they had paid taxes and tributes for your services.
Someone actually dared say that, and you didn't have them lashed publicly for their insolence? Ask the soldiers. They are trained to lay down their lives for me.
I suppose it would have been easier if I were offering them death rather than decrepitude.
Puru, their kith and kin will be looked after, Puru. They will live like the royalty, not just riches, Puru. Let them think of the glory and the fame. The world will look up to them with reverence.
Or perhaps laugh behind their backs.
Why? Why? Are deeds of glory dead in this world? Or has the world become so cynical, so corrupted that there is no place for, for, Puru? I am not trying to shun old age, Puru. I'm not that foolish. I know it is inevitable. But let me have my normal term of youth. I shall take it back, and the curse, and whatever comes with it, after a few years.
I offered all that.
And they didn't trust your word.
Trust, glory, sacrifice. Who was there to discuss these big words with? They refused to even talk to me. Or even to just listen, as though mere listening would fetter them to some unknown commitment. They retreated even as I approached them, as if as if I was offering them plague.
I don't believe it. They're here to welcome you, their next sovereign.
All of that was before Devyani met her father. The drama was acted out before the thousands assembled outside. The weeping and the cursing was there for everyone to see. But not many could have heard what was said. You know how it is. As I stepped out, I could almost see whispers snaking through the crowds. And then, and then they see me rushing about in desperate search of Shukracharya. That must have confirmed their worst fears. For all you know, by now the malediction may have transformed itself into the curse of death.
What shall I do, Puru? What am I to do? Please, go and talk to Shukracharya. Try to convince him, Puru, please.
Why don't you
What? Why don't I do what?
do as mother suggests?
Mother? What mother?
Sharmishta, take her advice, accept the inevitable.
Don't, Puru. Don't please go on as though you cannot understand. Puru, it is the crushing suddenness of it. Not being given a chance to. Don't you see the arbitrariness of it all? To be hurled into an unchangeable future without a warning, without a chance to even impede, redeem one's pledges of life. Puru, you can stumble down a road without lights, but to go on where there is no hope, that's unthinkable, Puru. That's unthinkable.
There is one person who is willing to take on the curse.
There is. Why didn't you say so? Who is it?
A worm aspiring to outdo the eagles.
Shut up! You fool! I refuse to talk to you. Get out of my sight.
Where is he? What happened, Puru?
Before I answer that question, may I ask you something?
Yes.
Before I came here, I have heard a lot of unkind tales about you. How you had turned this palace into a noxious pit for those living in it. And I came raring to meet you, to join in your rebellion against this stuffy palace. And what do I see? You love him. You actually love father. I had never imagined a person could be capable of that. You're offering to share his wretched fate. I can't understand it.
I suppose it is a little bizarre. I suspect even your father finds it so. I don't know whether I'll make any sense to you.
I could try.
See, Puru, all he has to do to get out of the situation is to let go of me. Send me away. But he won't think of it.
This is what molting must feel like. Everything has suddenly started making sense. Can I ask a favor of you?
Yes,
Could you please ask Chitralekha to come here, please, to this chamber? I I need her here.
of course, I will. But uh, can you tell me what happened with your father? He wouldn't even look at me.
There is a person willing, indeed keen, to accept his curse.
Oh,
But father was not ready to hear the name. In point of fact, I didn't even need to mention the name.
who is it?
Me.
What? No, 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 no. You can't. That is utter stupidity. Puru, the desire for self sacrifice is a rank perversion. No.
I want to root myself back in my family. I want to realize the vision that drove my ancestors.
What about poor bride Chitralekha?
I'm like an infant on the brink of birth. Don't, please don't shove me back with that name.
Puru suddenly collapses and tries to hold himself up. Sharmishta rushes to his help.
Puru? Puru? What is it? What happened?
The curse, mother. The spasms of imminent birth. Uh, uh, uh,
Act 4. It is now night. There are only a few clay lamps burning. The room is therefore very dimly lit. Chitralekha is standing near the window looking out. She is obviously bored and plays with a little object in her hand. Swarnalata enters.
Madam,
Yes,
I just came to see the oil in the lamps. I thought you might be asleep.
I dozed off when the drums were thundering. They suddenly fell silent and woke me up.
Thousands have gathered out there.
Yes, and they're all so silent. In my city, only 10 have to come together and there is a riot. You cannot imagine what it would be like with this many.
Our crowds can be boisterous too.
I see. Then why are they so quiet? I was wondering, I mean, um, well, it's okay. Let us forget it. Customs can be so varied. But do you know what I found in this chamber?
Where did you find that, madam?
Here, beside the leg of the bed. Isn't this the pendant from the marriage thread of the Bharata queens?
Yes, it is.
I had seen so many paintings of it, heard so many descriptions, had always wanted to possess it. But I never thought it would come my way in this fashion.
Please, please don't ask me about it, madam. I don't know how to.
Well, that's all right. What is your name?
Swarnalata,
Oh, I had a maid of that name back home. A very nice person, witty, alert, and active.
well then, the name is obviously the only thing we have in common.
I am sure not. But it is a comfort to have someone with a familiar name, you know, makes one feel at home. Would you mind if I called you Swaru?
Please, please don't, madam. Anything but that. Please.
Oh, I am sorry. I have upset you. I didn't mean.
No, 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 no. It's just that. Just.
This stillness. So many thousands standing in frozen silence, waiting for something. For what? It has something to do with the curse of Shukracharya, doesn't it?
Oh, you have heard about it, madam? I wasn't informed. Yes, it has.
Yes. Pushpa, my personal maid from my mother's house, she found out and told me about it. I was distressed, of course, but not for very long. After all, I belong to the Bharatha family now. Their problems are mine too.
I wish the problems had waited a little longer.
I suppose everyone out there has come to know of these problems too, and therefore this silence?
Why don't you rest, madam? Maybe I'll come again a little later.
More rest. If you go away now, I shall have no company, except, of course, this pendant. Tell me, is it true that Pushpa and my other maids have been sent out to see the illuminations in the city?
No, madam. They have been housed in the eastern wing of the palace.
Oh, how far is it? Would they hear me if I called out?
No, they won't.
Oh, I thought so.
I shouldn't worry about them, madam. If you actually come and stand at this corner, I could point out to you the famous landmarks of the city.
No, thank you. I tried that earlier, but my eyes kept returning to these faces. They all look so eerie in the flickering light of torches. Why don't you sit down? Let us talk. Why don't you tell me a story instead?
Story? What story is there to narrate? It is being acted out right in front of our eyes.
No, I meant a tale of some distant land.
Forgive me, madam, but this is probably not the right time for it
Why not?
because it's your nuptial evening.
What is the connection?
After a point, every story that matters has something to do with the nuptials.
Okay, then, let us talk of something else. You know about me, probably more than I do. Why don't you tell me about yourself?
Me? My story has just 2 lines, madam.
Wait, let me guess. That you got married and then lived happily ever after?
The first line is correct, and the second, well, perhaps. But so far I know, I got married. Then my husband, my husband left and went away.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Nothing apocalyptic. He left me after 10 years of marriage.
Why? Where did he go?
He got tired of life. Not that he was ever at home very much. He was His Majesty's charioteer, used to accompany His Majesty on his expeditions.
I see. And what happened?
And
Suddenly, there's a thunderous eruption of the drums and conch shells. Startled by its suddenness and ferocity, Chitralekha runs to the window. Swarnalata bursts out crying.
What's that? What's that for Swaroop?
I shouldn't have agreed to this. I should have sent someone else. I didn't have the courage to face you. But I wanted to see you. I couldn't tell you what I came here to tell. I should have never agreed. I should have sent someone else who had faith in all of this.
What is wrong with you? Stop wailing, I tell you. Stop it instantly.
I
What
will,
were you
madam.
supposed to tell me?
I will tell, madam. I will, but
Stop whining, you silly woman. You're getting on my nerves.
curse me, madam, curse me. I don't mind. Not a soul offered to accept the king's task. Then
Okay, go on.
one person.
Who was it?
The prince, madam. The prince, young Poro. madam. This Ganesh, fanfare. These. Cry, madam. Please. Hold back your tears. Nothing is more harmful than the suppressed tears.
Cry? Why should I cry? I should laugh. I should cheer. Except that I have been so unfair to him, so cruelly unjust. Thought he was an ordinary man. What a fool I have been. How utterly blind. Chosen one, and which other woman has been so blessed? Why should I shed tears?
Perhaps I meant tears of joy. But why now? Why?
No, no, it is just as well. I don't know how long I would have gone on being unfair to him. Now, I only have my idiocy to blame. I am so happy.
May this happiness last forever, madam. Forever. I forgot. I had come to inform you. The drums, they were to announce the prince is actually on his way here.
Is he? How stupid you are. If you hadn't made such a song and dance about it, I would have rushed to him and thrown myself at his feet. Is he truly on his way? You be off now. Go, go.
Yes, madam.
She starts extinguishing the lamps one by one.
What are you doing?
There shouldn't be no lights on the first night in the nuptial chamber, madam.
No, no. Leave a couple of them burning. I want to dazzle my eyes with his glory. Here he is. Off you go. Go.
Swarnalata leaves a couple of lamps burning in a corner and moves out.
I shall be outside. Please call me if you need me.
I will.
Puru comes in. His face cannot be seen in the dark, but he is bent double. When he speaks, his voice is feeble and quivers with exhaustion. Swarnalata is about to help him when Chitralekha takes him over, almost possessively. Swarnalata leaves. Chitralekha seats him on the bed.
Chitra,
Yes, I am here.
Chitra. Forgive me, please.
But why?
I didn't consult you.
Hush now. I was a fool, blind to your greatness. I didn't realize my good fortune.
This is no ordinary old age, Devi. This is decrepitude, a sum total of father's transgression. The burden of the whole dynasty, perhaps. I couldn't take it on without your help.
Of course, I am there with you. I have no life apart from you, and I want none.
I feel empty, shriveled.
No, you don't have to explain anything to me. I am so privileged.
She goes and picks up a lamp and brings it to him.
No light, please. It hurts my eyes. I can't.
I want to perform the arti. May I? Just once? Only for a moment, please, to welcome you into my heart.
All right. Make it quick, please.
Chitralekha takes the lamp to his face and moves it in a circle in front of it, performing an arati. The flame casts its light upon his face. His withered features look even more terrifying in the dim light. Chitralekha screams and drops the lamp to the floor.
Devi, Devi.
Please don't come near me. Go out. Please, please don't touch me.
But you said.
I don't know anything. Don't ask me. Forgive me. But please, please get out of here at once. Swaru! Swaru!
Madam,
Take him out right now. Please. Don't touch me. I am a sinner. Kill me, please. But leave me alone. Go out. Go out.
now. Don't blame yourself, madam.
No, I don't deserve the prince. I am unworthy of him. But what am I to do, Swaru? What am I to do? I couldn't help myself. I cannot take it. I cannot.
Go on. Cry, madam. Don't stop yourself now. It's all right. Don't blame yourself. Just let go. Just let go.
Please say something. Scold me. Punish me. Say anything. I cannot bear this silence. I cannot bear this silence.
I know, madam. I know the terror of silence. I started to tell you about myself, but couldn't bring myself to. But, madam, even my story is not as terrifying as your present situation. I was my father's only child. He was not very well to do. Didn't have enough money to engage a proper teacher for me. So he persuaded a poor Brahmin to teach me in return for a free meal a day. My teacher was naturally anxious that the news of this arrangement should not get around. So he would come to our house after dark, teach me, stay the whole night with us, and leave early next morning. I was a keen student. I learnt well. And, and when I came of age, I was married off. I couldn't have prayed for a nicer husband. All he wanted was for me to be happy. He showered me with endearments, with love, with gifts. It was my Swaru, my darling Swaru, every minute. Then one day he came to know about my teacher. Misgivings sprouted in his mind. I told him there was no basis for his doubts. I begged and pleaded. If there was the slightest evidence for his apprehension, he would have forgiven me. But there was none. Doubt grew into suspicion and then slowly twisted itself into an obsession, a laceration he had no means of controlling. As months passed and the disease spread, I could see him tossing and turning in his bed. And yet, And yet there was not the slightest abatement in his love for me. There was also in his conviction that I was innocent. He began to look for solutions to his torment, to revenge himself on me by indulging in women, in drinks, in campaigns. And he hated himself for inflicting this torture on me. And the more I loved him, the more venomously he hated me and himself. At last, I had to help him out. I shudder when I think of it. One night, as he was moaning in his sleep, I woke him up and admitted that I slept with my teeth. And I teacher had seduced me, more
Oh
like
no.
what he feels. I had slept with him.
Aiyo, you lied?
Yes, I lied. I described the scene in a convincing detail. You know what my husband did? He smiled at me. He smiled and turned on to his side for the first time in many years, fell into deep sleep. With that, Swarnalata's story too ended. But not Swaru's private hell. He disappeared the next morning. I haven't seen him since. See, I still deck myself as a married woman. Our house awaits his return. Every one of his positions in its place, exactly as he left it. But if he doesn't return, I hope he found peace in death. 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 This is the great thing about death, isn't it? The assurance of peace, the deliverance from uncertainty.
What is it, Swaru?
This, the vial of poison which Sharmishta carried. I found it as I was cleaning the room this afternoon. It promises instant death, release from living hell. But madam, I don't have the courage it takes. Don't.
No, you shouldn't. Can I see it?
I have been churning out this old tale, madam, but I can't think of another tale with which to divert you. We are alone in our unhappiness, Devi. Sometimes a distant cry from another unhappy soul, it helps. It
Who's
certainly
there?
helps.
Swarna?
The
Swarna?
king.
Now?
Yeah. Sir,
Tell them I don't want to see anyone now.
you will have to face them sometime. Later won't make it any better, Devi.
Yes. Yes, you're right. I must thank God I met you, Swaru.
There is nothing to fear. It cannot get much worse than this.
What have you done, child?
Forgive me.
This is no time for recriminations. My heart goes out to you. But you are an educated woman, versed in the arts and trained in warfare. You could have displayed more self-control. Now, act in a manner worthy of an Anga prince and a Bharata queen. Act so that generations to come may sing your glory and Puru's. My blood froze when I heard your scream. I was panic-stricken that you may bring the names of both our families into disrepute. But nothing is beyond repair. Go. Welcome Prince Puru back. You don't know how grateful the people will be to you. Go. Escort him back. Chitralekha,
No,
what do you mean?
I will not let my husband step back into my bedroom unless he returns a young man.
I hope you realize where you are. This is the palace of the Bharatas. I can order you, not as your father-in-law, but as your ruler, to take him in, and you will have to obey. But I'm not doing that. I request you, I plead with you, not to act in a manner that will bring ignominy on us all.
Let him come. I shall leave the kingdom.
Do you remember the vow you took not so long ago? With the gods as your witness, in the presence of the holy fire, that you would walk in the path marked by his footprints, whether home or into the wilderness.
Or into the funeral pyre?
Hold your tongue! You dare indulge in levity about your husband's death.
I did not push him to the edge of the pyre, sir. You did. You hold forth on my wifely duties. What about your duty to your son? Did you even think twice before foisting your troubles on a pliant son?
Chitralekha! Take care!
Sir, this is my chamber. Only and only my husband has the right to come in here without my permission. Or to shout out my name when he pleases. I am not aware I have allowed anyone else that freedom.
I apologize.
Yes, I was keen to become your daughter-in-law. But so were you, to accept as me as one, even apart from my family, because of my accomplishments, because of what I am. And now, you want me to meekly yield to your demands?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have raised my voice. But please try and understand. I know I've caused you grief, but I am confused, lost. The last few hours have been so traumatic. I feel myself on the brink of insanity. Let me explain.
Explain. I came here today as your new daughter-in-law. And do you know what gifts welcomed me in my chamber? First, this. From the mother-in-law who has discarded me. A pendant from her marriage thread. And this, from the mother-in-law to be. A vial of poison.
Please try to understand. I am whatever I am. I am the king. There is no me if there are no subjects, no people. I cannot forget my duty by them. And at this moment, my duty is to ensure that the forces of chaos will not overwhelm them.
Is that the choice now? The forces of chaos on the one side and my husband's youth on the other?
I swear to you, Chitralekha, it never occurred to me that he would accept the curse. I was dumbfounded when he told me. Even now, I'm willing to take it back on my shoulders. What father would wish such a fate for his son? Tell me. Puru took it on his own free will, without a word from me, not even saying a word to me. You know, I had looked for presenting you and Puru a peaceful, prosperous kingdom. Unfortunately, recently, unexpected troubles have started brewing in the corners of my realm. enemies on the border, rebellious forest tribes, prospect of a famine, and the danger of Rakshasa depredation. I tried discussing these problems with him, but he's not interested. That is where I need your help.
My help?
See, Puru lacks the experience to tackle these problems. Actually, more than the experience, he lacks the will, the desire. See, instead of welcoming the responsibilities of a king and of a householder, he has welcomed senility within a fortnight of his marriage. Why?
Modesty requires that I claim not to understand the question. But since it has been asked, and since it is now the most important question in my life, let me state that I consider myself immensely fortunate in having found such a good husband. The last 15 days have been the happiest in my life. He is warm, considerate, and loving. I grew up amid Kshatriya arrogance. His gentleness, though, is like a waft of cool breeze. As a wife, I am happy, indeed blessed.
What then is he trying to run away from?
Has my husband been complaining against me? Some lapse on my part?
No. He admires you. That is why I am here, in the hope that perhaps his mate, you, can help him. See, he has taken the curse upon himself to come to grips with some inner turmoil of his own. He needs time to think, time to recover, perhaps time to heal. And only you can give it to him. Once Puru regains his health, it is you who will share that future with him. Give him a little more time, a little more time. Let him find himself. By then, I shall settle the affairs of the state and present to you and Puru a future that shall be secure and yours to keep. Please think.
Think? And will your majesty think about how old I shall be by the time that future is attained?
Only a few years, say maybe a decade, or even just 4 or 5.
4 or 5? Do you think it would make a difference if it were only 1 or 2? This morning, I was the mistress of all that I have earned for. But within half a day, within half an hour actually, half a century has driven across my bed and crushed the dreams on my pillows. And you would like me to wait?
This is not merely a question of an individual, Chitralekha. We are talking of the future of our entire people.
I am here, sir, this minute. And I cannot interest myself in your unborn future.
See, this is the time when we are being put to test. Not just the time to come, but even our past is waiting for us, watching us, judging us. There has never been such a crisis like this before, nor is there ever likely to be one again. Rise above trivialities, Chitralekha. Be a superhuman.
All right, Your Majesty. I shall try. But when I do so, please don't try to dodge behind your own logic.
Beware! No one has ever accused me of cowardice.
Yes, this is the moment. No one has ever faced a situation like this before. No one is likely to again in future. So, do you have the courage to accept my challenge?
What are you blathering?
I did not know Prince Puru when I married him. I married him for his youth. for his potential to plant the seed of the Bharatas in my womb. He has lost that potency now. He doesn't possess any of the qualities that I married him for. But you do.
Chitralekha!
You have taken over your son's youth. It follows that you should accept everything that comes attached to it.
You whore! Are you inviting me to fornication?
Oh, come, sir. Aren't these trite considerations? We have to rise above such trivialities. We have to be superhuman. Remember, nothing like this has ever happened before, and nothing like this is likely to.
Where did you learn such filth, you beast?
It is a price I have paid for my education, sir. So, sir, you refuse to return my youthful husband to me, nor will you accept my logic. I know. It is part of the sacrifice we all have to make. Your Majesty, would you say this sacrifice measures up to your demand?
She picks the vial of poison from the bed, walks up to him, and holds it up to him.
Chitralekha, don't be foolish.
Foolish? What else is there for me to do? You have your youth. Prince Puru has his old age. Where do I fit in?
She lifts the vial to her lips.
Chitralekha, wait, listen.
He rushes forward and grabs her hand, then recoils in horror.
There you are. You say, I shouldn't be foolish. But you cannot even bring yourself to stop me.
No, it's not that. That's your right hand. I can't hold it. Wait, listen. Sharmishta, Swarnalata.
Chitralekha smiles defiantly and swallows the poison. Suddenly, she crumples up with pain. Sharmishta and Swarnalata come rushing in. Chitralekha collapses, writhing in their arms.
Devi! Devi!
Help me! Please! Oh! Don't let me die! I don't want to die! Swaru! Please!
Where did she find this vial?
Oh no, God, Devi!
Call the doctors. Sharmishta, send for help.
Nothing is going to help. There is no antidote to it.
I could not catch hold of her hand. She was like my daughter. And yet I didn't care.
Who she was? You destroyed her life. I pleaded with you. I was so drunk with your future. See?
Please, Sharmishta, please.
Oh,
What I wanted to have her. She was in such a pain. I really wanted to release her.
Swarna, what is that?
No, oh my darling, she found no peace. Swallow! Save me, Swallow!
Swarna! Come on!
Darling!
Nice! Here is the foundation of your glorious future, Your Majesty. A woman dead, another one gone mad, and a third one in the danger of her life. Goodbye, sir. Goodbye.
Where are you going?
I must escape before this news reaches the mob outside. I know one thing for certain. They will all take it on me.
Will you please send Puru in? Please.
Don't worry about him. He is dozing happily outside, afloat his grand sacrifice.
Send him in. Please send him in and wait for me.
For you?
Yes.
No. No.
Sharmishta looks at him and exits. Yayati stands staring at the dead Chitralekha and the demented Swanalata.
I thought there were two options, life and death. No, it's the living and dying we have to choose between. And you have shown me that dying can go on for all eternity. Suddenly, I see myself, my animal body frozen in youth, decaying, deliquescing, turning rancid. You are lying on your pyre, child, burning for life, while I sink slowly in this quagmire. My body, wrinkless and grasping, but unable to grasp anything.
Come, Puru. Come.
Father, you sent for me?
Please, Puru, help me, please. Take back your youth. Let me turn my decrepitude into a beginning.
But, but why? There is so much you have to. Oh, oh, this crushing exhaustion. Uh, no, no, I don't want my youth. But may I sit down? I, I, uh, what? What's this? Chitra? Uh,
She killed herself, Puru.
uh,
The
uh,
first martyr to His Majesty's glorious vision.
she killed herself. But why? Let her go. I'm ready for any.
Oh, no, no. That was no self-sacrifice. She was slaughtered. And now there is no one except a demented maid left to mourn her.
Take back your youth, Puru. Rule well. Let me go and face my destiny in the wilds.
He embraces Puru. When they part, Puru has become young again, and Yayati is bent with age.
It is still dark, Father. Why don't you wait till dawn to leave?
We have a long way to go, Puru. Sir, mister, come.
Puru touches the feet of Yayati and Sharmishta. Sharmishta embraces him as she might a son. They leave. Puru goes to where Chitralekha is lying.
We brought you here only to die. Our senses are blighted, and we shall never grasp the meaning of all that you taught us. What does all this mean, oh God? What does it mean? What does it mean?
So perhaps Puru at last found the courage to ask a question. But was it really a meaningful question? Or was it a cry of despair that he could hope for no meaning? Well, conventions of Sanskrit drama require that a play have a happy ending. So, let us assume that this question led to many more, and that finally, Puru found the question he was seeking. For we have it on the authority of the epics that Puru ruled long and wisely and was hailed as a philosopher king. Namaskara.
Good evening, everybody. It's almost evening time. Such a wonderful portrayal by every actor here. I really wanted to thank them all from the bottom of my heart for doing a superb job. Each of them did a marvelous job. It's my privilege and honor to introduce the actors of the performance today. I would start with the Sutradhara. Shauri, great job, ma. Superb entry. Everything was so perfect. I was watching the comments from the audiences. They loved it. Your smile, your rendition. I'd like you to take a minute to share your thoughts as you worked on this script, and please share your comments.
I just wanted to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity to do this. I joined pretty late, like just 2 weeks ago, but I did like try to make up for the lost time by, throughout rehearsals and things like that. So yeah, thank you everyone for the opportunity. I really enjoyed doing this.
Thank you so much. You are a great add to Six Elements Productions team. We look forward to see you more. And I know that you are pursuing theater very actively and have won many medals and awards. I wish you many, many more successes. Great job, ma. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to introduce Yayati. Anant, what a wonderful performance. What variations, Anant. You were so marvelous. Needless to say. Loved it. Every piece of it. The variations you brought in every aspect were simply marvelous. I'm losing track of the adjectives which I can use. My English is not the greatest here to explain your acting. So I loved it so much. I'd like you to share your thoughts as well.
Thank you, Srinidhar. Thank you very much. Thanks to Six Elements Productions first. As I said during the earlier meeting, this is my second project and I love being part of this. This role, Yayati, is a very, very big challenging role. So there is all the emotions, all the greed, all the ego, all the worries, all the pain, everything is there in this particular character, and I enjoyed. The last 2 months has been I've been living Yayati, I've been reading Yayati, I've been eating Yayati, drinking Yayati. It's just been Yayati all over. So thank you once again for the opportunity. I hope I did justice.
And sorry to interrupt, but that showed in your performance. I strongly feel great theater, great acting is all about effort, and you really took the character to yourself. Thank you so much for doing this role. We loved it. Audiences loved it. I'd like to introduce Shanti Garu next. Shanti Garu, you played the Devyani role very, very well. Every piece of it came out very well. It's a two-part role, and I know you had a bigger role yesterday. And the presence you brought, the divinity, the role, the grandeur with your makeup and everything, and your acting was superb. Thank you so much for great entry into Six Elements team and lovely performance. Wishing you many, many more successes. Please share your thoughts as you worked on your production.
Thanks, Srinigaru, for those kind words. As I said in my intro role also, this is my first time into the theater and I loved every bit of it. What just started out as a play reading evolved into acting. So we started living it, and every one of us, we thoroughly enjoyed these 2 months of practice. And thanks to Six Elements team for bringing on new talents and encouraging them. Thank you so much, Srinigaru and Lavanya Garu.
Great job, and a great point you bring up. One of the great theater legends from Andhra Pradesh saw our earlier reading, and he said, I want the next play reading to be not reading and acting and living. And I really am proud. I'm going to share with him these. He could not watch live today, but I'll share this with pride that you guys did super job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I would like to introduce Puru, played by Rakesh. Rakesh, superb job. What transitions, man. And the pauses you take are so professional. I think your professional theater training, working with many different directors across US, has helped you perform this role with ease. And it's a different role, and in fact, a difficult role, because it has so many emotions to it. And the change you portrayed as an old man versus the young youth, and the ending, everything came out very well. Hearty congratulations and welcome to Six Elements production team. Looking many more performances from you. Please share your thoughts.
First of all, thank you to Six Elements Productions for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you, Srinigaru. And I would like to thank the director of our play, Lavanya Garu, also. It was a collaborative effort, I would say, because I mean we've been practicing, rehearsing for this play for at least 4 or 5 weeks now, and we've been fine tuning. We were correcting each other, so it was a collaborative effort for sure, and it was a great opportunity, honestly. And to be able to perform this play itself is a great opportunity. It's a great play written by one of the greatest playwright India has ever produced. So it is an honor. And once again, I would like to thank Six Elements Productions for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are also very proud to be presenting this play on this key first death anniversary week and his birthday. So we are very happy. Thank you for all your comments. I would like to introduce the next performer, Chitralekha, played by Chaitanya. Chaitanya, great job. The youth you brought up, the challenges, the changes of what you thought versus when actually Puru came, everything was so touching, and you lived the role, and I could see the tears flowing through your eyes. So a lot of people think reading is easy. It's not. It's almost like performing, because if you just have read those lines, the audience will not get the same emotions, and it is very hard to do what you guys have done, because you don't have any other movement, you don't have other artists sitting next to it. This was again a comment from another theater legend who saw our play, and he said, it's very hard to emote. There are no props, nothing. There's no reactions. You have to show a reaction to something, and you did a marvelous job in many of those reactions. Stop it, do it, carry that, and also fake the poison and all that. Everything
Thank
came
you.
out very well. Hearty congratulations. Welcome to the team. We want you to do a lot more. Please share your thoughts.
No, absolutely would love to. Thank you, Srinigaru. First off, I mean, thank you to Six Elements Production, to you and Lavanya for this opportunity. And then second thing, to be put against a great actor like Priya Garu, who played the role Swarnalata, it was truly challenging, but then also it was the moment to learn, actually. So I hope I was able to learn as much from the team here, which you can see is immensely talented. And also thanks to Lavanya especially for being patient with me. I truly struggled in the beginning because this was an English play and it's hard to take it to heart and, think through the character. But then I think she was very patient, explained everything to us and made sure that we actually lived it, which I think had shown here today. So thank you, Lavanya, for that, and look forward to more of these. Thanks all.
Great observations too. Thank you so much. I think because it's not our mother tongue, and then the script, the way it is written, is in a very Shakespearean style, very complex words, which we don't use. One of my friends was joking that to see your play, we need to carry a dictionary almost today and tomorrow, because the script has such complex words. But the pace at which you guys carried was very good. And thank you for your comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andy. Last but not least, but I would like to thank my family, my husband and my sister-in-law, Shrikant and Vamsaka, because they are there taking care of my 2-year-old and 4-year-old, making sure they're not screaming and all. So thanks so much.
I completely understand. Please convey our thanks to them.
Yeah, thanks.
The next performer I would like to introduce is Swarnalata. Swarnalata, I have completed, I think. Swarnalata, yes. For her, I need to have a sip of tea. What a performance! What a performance! My God. I'm so happy Priya, my friend, agreed to play this role. I know we probed her in from all the way from California. Such a wonderful performance. What a touching performance. I was continually sipping my tea. Seriously. Wonderful performance, very touching. And I think you took the role. Somebody else would have said, oh, what? I'm not the Rani. But this is the role which has the variations, the power to show your emotional depth, which you can showcase with the character. What a rendering. Thank you so much, Priya Garu. Thanks for doing this role for us, and we want you to perform more with Six Element Productions and do much more. Looking forward to collaborating. Wanted to take a moment to share your experiences.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much to Six Elements, to you, Srini Garu, to give that call. Your big heart shows there. Thank you. And to Lavanya for really painstakingly, guiding me through and giving me a big boost. Even yesterday night, I wasn't confident with the huge monologue because that's the beauty of the monologue, which gave Girish Karnad his identity and,
Hmm.
it's a character that's what Girish Karnad created. It's not there in the history. We just have a Dasi, but then Swarnalatha is something which he created, and I didn't want any kind of, if not doing to the best, I didn't want any negative impact through my acting, and I hope I could at least, do my level best, justice to the role. And any flaws, kindly excuse me. This is only my way of tribute to the legendary Girish Karnad. Thank you, thank you.
Very humble and great comments. One thing you said about learning is very true, because a lot of times acting is perceived as something which anybody can do. I'm born actor, I can do it. But the reality of when you take a script and try to render it, it is very, very difficult to internalize what the writer has written and the character and everything. You did all of that superbly. Thank you so much. Wishing you many, many more successes in your pursuit in theater journey. Last but not the least, I would like to introduce Sharmista, my friend and superbly talented actress. I'd like to take a moment to talk about her before. What a performance, because I have worked with her in many ways, and as directing her, and also in this role, watching her perform, and in many other things. It's a very different role compared to the challenges you have done in the past, Lavanya, because this role has variations. How you behaved in part one was very, very different. The way you kind of tease Shanti Garu's character versus the approach you took here, and it had varied range of emotions, which I thoroughly loved, and you brought all of them together. And not to mention one another thing, when we were discussing on which script to pick, you wanted to pick something which is more complicated, and I was challenging that, saying, why pick that? Why not pick a easier one? But he said, no, 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 no. We should do the best tribute we can to the legend who has done such great work, which India should be proud of, and deservingly give a warm tribute to him. And I thought, yes, we should not do something easy and say we're done. And you did such a great job. Then one another thing I wanted to bring up was to get the team together, directing it, getting them all up. You did such a great job in doing that, because it's a hard thing. Team is not accessible to you. It's a voluntary effort. While the team is very passionate, and I was part of the team as they were rehearsing, and I know what was happening, it's harder to get their commitment and push. I know they were very, very supportive and made it happen, but you put them all together and saying that this is a goal. So as a leader, it is important. Director has to render on and say, create a goal and say, this is a great vision, let's work on it and build the dream and execute. You did all of that. I want to take a pause. Thank you so much many times for your role and all others.
Thank you.
I was sweating and I was drinking a cup of tea, saying, wow, what a performance. Completely goosebumps.
Thank you so much.
So I would like to share both of your experiences playing this role and directing the team, getting them all together, because that is very important to share your thoughts in both those aspects.
Yes. Thank you so much for your kind words. And I'm super emotional and super elated at this point of time. So you literally stole most of my words from your mouth regarding the team, but I will just go over, because I do want to mention, foremost, I want to thank all the talented people in the team for believing in me from the beginning and walking aside me for last 5 weeks. So this certainly made my job very easy, right? And I'm supremely lucky to have this talented set of actors. So, and it made me think too, it made me to push my boundaries a little bit more. So, first of all, I want to thank Anand. So I made notes of this because I don't want to miss anything. So if you see my eyes going this and this, it's just that I'm reading because I don't want to miss any points. So first of all, thank you, Anand, for being very patient listener and taking ownership of this play reading, right? Like, you have done the posters, you were like so passionate about it that we should do this so well. So, and you're super talented, man, like supremely talented. There is no question about it. And for all you, like we call him Yay. So because he's Yayati and we like to tease him and he's the man of all women around all the time. So we call him like, Yay, he's come. So thank you, Priya, for your dedication. She's, you already mentioned, like she's all the way from California, but she was so gracefully, like, accepted to adjust to all central timings for the rehearsals, and she's so modest. So, and I learned a lot from her commitment. Interesting fact is like she went through a surgery a week back, and yet she never missed a rehearsal. She never missed a rehearsal. She's like, I have to do this. And I'm so very, I have to learn this from you. Thank you so much for raising the bar on it. And last 2 days, you saw her like how she can bring on all the shades, right? Like, she's captivated with you all with their big eyes, big expressions, wonderful modulations. So Anand, come back on the screen, please. So I want to see like, and then thank you, Shanti, for truly believing in me. She's like, Nani, you tell me to do this expression, I'm going to put that expression. You tell me. So, and that's not easy. Like, people, carrying that trust on another person is not easy. So at least at this age, like, kids, yes, but not the grown-ups. And I am totally bound to you for that. So, and thank you. And you made me nervous because whenever you say like, you tell me I'll do it, I'm like, oh my God, am I really doing the right thing or not? And she is the first timer in theater arts and she graduated to reading completely. You know what I mean? Like, reading is not easy, as what Srinigaru already mentioned. Like, it is not at all easy, right? And for your information, she also runs a dance school in Dallas. Super creative woman, I know. So thank you. Thank you, Chaitanya. She is another first timer for your surprise. Super talented woman. And you know what? She is a true tearjerker with her heartful performance. And she is supremely good. She would challenge me every day, like positively. Why, Lavanya? Why should we do this? So I'm like, oh my God, she's making me think. How do I interpret this? It's not easy script. We have taken a script of legendary writer and like to really go into his mind and analyze like what exactly he means at this point. What is he thinking when he's writing certain dialogues? And he has given everybody, he has treated the characters as humans today, not a mythological drama at all. He did not say like, he sees Puru. Oh my God, this is troubling me. So he sees Puru in each one of us. He sees Yayati in each one of us. He sees every character in one of us. So how do I interpret it? And she would challenge me. Like, she really made my mind bend, think deeper into the situations which were led. And thank you so much, Chaitanya, for that. You have increased my bar. Thank you, Rakesh. Please come back. There is a lot to learn from you in delivering the dialogues and taking the right pauses and being supernatural. You're an inspiration, truly. Like, because you, one is like very calm, very composed, and you're another director's actor. Like, and he's actually, Srinigar mentioned, but I would say it again, he's a mainstream theater, he acts in the mainstream theater in Dallas, and he has done several shows. So, and it is a pleasure to have you on our team. So,
Pleasure is all
super
mine.
good.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Last but not the least, my super favorite, Shauri Kutta. Like, super good. I'm shifting to Telugu. I'm sorry, Sirisha, if you're watching, okay? తప్పకుండా ఈ చిన్నవాడికి దిష్టి తీయండి. నేను చెప్తున్నాను, చాలా ముద్దుగా, ఎంత బ్రహ్మాండగా, 15 years old, and he carried tremendous maturity. Like, it's not easy being narrating and like holding that balance, and saying the right things in the right time. Great job, Shauri. I'm sure you'll have a bright future in theater, and you're already doing that. And your voice is mesmerizing. I would really encourage you to go on and on with it.
Thank you.
So see, one thing I want to mention is like, the challenge in taking up this project. Yes, we have pushed our limits, and yes, Srini got challenged, like, why Yayati? It is not easy, right? Like, we said, let's try it. Like, we can't just settle down with certain, we need to experiment ourselves, right? Before you all make any judgment calls on the performance, I want to tell you what are all the challenges involved in presenting this. Okay, so play reading typically is more concentrated on the intonations or the modulations of the play. Okay, you don't get dressed, you don't get into acting. It's more about like, this is a step before action, right? So which is very commonly seen in US, but not in India. I'm not sure of it. So but to tell you, we are not seeing. Another thing is, like, we brought this experimenting of, like, wearing the costumes and make it look like cheat you as if we are not reading and we are trying to act. That is a lot of burden on the brain, right? Like, we were doing it. So one thing you need to understand, we are not seeing each other. So usually when you are acting, you look at other person, you react. We are not seeing each other. What we are seeing is a blank screen with notepad on it and some words written on it. We are like imagining, oh, other person is acting like this, so let me give this reaction right here, let me give this emotion here. It's like talking on phone with somebody, but you're overacting. When you're talking on the phone. So it's not an easy thing, right? And other challenge is, none of us are like trained actors. We are amateur theater. None. I don't think any of us went through the pure acting school. So, like, we don't know. We are exploring. It is a practice is our school, right? So we have been practicing and practicing, practicing and practicing. That is only school we attended. Now, taking up English is not easy. We all come from India, right? So I'll tell you what. One, adapting the English play. Second, then understanding what has author wrote with these complicated words which you don't use in every day. Like, what do you ever use? You're calling to fornication, debauch, stupor. These are not normal words which you use in your colloquial language, right? Like, these are beyond it. Now, third, like, he's trying to convey certain things we need to understand. Then you have to feel for the dialogues which you don't connect immediately with your heart. So you have to first let it go through your mind, then let it go through the heart, and then give the right emotion, right? That is fifth one. And stress on the points which would be very, very important. And then trying to make the script reading more Indian as a subject demands, right? Like, this is not a normal thing, which is still is an Asian play. You have to bring those Indian elements to it. So, and it is not easy because we all are living in US for a long period of time. We do get into the sense of like having our own accents bringing up there. So, no. And the last but not least, going through the Zoom rehearsals, right? So how do you, like, you have your own family, you're taking time out of it and just spending like hours and hours at nights, like, or at odd times for Priya. So, and it's not easy. So please, I really request to congratulate all our team for not taking this easy game up and challenging themselves. Keep this in mind before you put on your criticism out there. Please, please, please. So I humbly request, and I'm not a director by training. Like, I never, but I wanted to challenge myself. I think this is a passion for me. So I wanted to do this because I don't get chances as many as other people do. So what do? I need to push myself up. So I learn
So,
out of that. So
about that, Lavanya, I have a comment. I have to interrupt you. Nobody is born with anything. We work on it, and I think you did a great job working on it, getting there. But the key element there, I feel, is to bring up the passion and deliver what you
yes.
promised on. In this case, you did really well. Great job with your direction and acting. Sorry, did you have any other comments?
No, I was just saying, like, for all the positive comments you have left on YouTube, I really am overwhelmed, and like, thank you so much. You have been reaching through WhatsApp and YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for all the encouraging comments. Team, Yayati.
Very true. Only thing I wanted to add to that is that please share the link, because not everybody is able to access this. So I request all the viewers to share the links and showcase the wonderful effort they have put. Six Element Productions is proud to bring in such a prestigious project today. We will continue our streak of performances. Next month will be a very special month where we will present a multilingual theater fest, first of its kind in the globe, on Zoom. It will comprise of Hindi, Tamil, and Telugu, and maybe English renditions as well. It's very, very unique effort, not done by any other theater group. So we are very excited about that. We wanted to take this opportunity of success to share about that. We will share the details soon. Please watch out and please reach out, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell button to get the notifications. And subscribers, we need patrons like audiences and friends like you who have come up to act and make it a success. Thank you all very much from the bottom of my heart. I join Nani Garu, who is a director, Lavanya, who is also a director with me for Six Elements Productions, to make this a wonderful non-profit organization. We want to make a difference to the community through our efforts to make service as a motto through art. Thank you very much. Wish you all a great day, and please come and join us for our theater festival, which will come, multilingual festival, which will happen in the last week of June. We'll announce the details very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, team.
Thank you.